Hello YouTube, my name is Asante, and today we are going to be talking about Lorcana, the trading card game brought to us by Disney, everyone's favorite brand for bringing us fairy tales, cartoons, animations, and now a card game. Lorcana is a trading card game, and as you can see, it will feature your favorite Disney characters such as Princess Aurora and Simba. This is part of the first chapter, the first installment of the game. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to unbox our deck. So we've unboxed our Lorcana starter deck, and these are exactly what we get in the box. We get a full 60 card deck. We get a quick tutorial, a quick leaflet giving us details about the game. If it's like any other card game, it should also serve as a game mat. Oh wait, never mind. I'm silly. Here's the game mat right here, and as you can see from the game overview, the little pamphlet here, we will have a quick start of the rules. We will be given information like about the game, learning how to play, and also how to win, which kind of makes this tutorial a little pointless, but additionally, we will get counters. These will be very important during the game if you have trouble keeping track of things. I know I do. And this is also a 12-card booster pack for Lorcana, as you can see. So, very pretty. But yes, so, you know what, let's go right ahead and we will open the Lorcana booster pack, because these are always fun to open in any card game. Alright. I'm gonna take it out this way because there's usually the back of the card on this side, because they want you to see it as soon as it comes out. You know, I'm just gonna tear away at it. Okay, and like I said, there's the back of the card. Oh, and it looks like for booster packs, you can actually get these little partial drawing pieces. So I imagine you collect the boosters, and you can eventually get a full picture by getting enough of these cards. Neat. I'm gonna set that to the side. We're going to move this over. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, reveal! Goofy is the first one. That actually pans out very well. So the second, Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. We also have the magic brooms. I remember these from Fantasia. They gave Mickey quite a bit of trouble. Oh dear, Stampede. Oh dear, poor Mufasa. We also have Flounder and Prince Eric. Sven. Everyone loves Sven. He actually looks quite nice in 2D now I think about it. It kind of makes you wish that Frozen had been in it. Mother knows best. Listen to your mother. It's a scary world out there. We have a coconut basket. I'm assuming that's from Moana. It would be nice if it was from Lilo and Stitch, though. We have Robin Hood. We have Elsa, Spirit of Winter. And for the shiny card, we have a Mickey Mouse. Now, I actually have no clue. I'm a complete noob when it comes to Lorcana, so I have no idea if any of these are good. If any of you know if they're good, please let me know in the comments. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this out of the way along with the booster pack we just opened, and this is the deck that we get. It's actually in a paper wrapper, which is quite unusual for a card game. I've never actually seen a deck that's been sealed in paper. Usually they're in like plastic. I suppose that's better for the environment. So we're going to open this up. Gonna take that off. Let's put that aside. Okay, and this is our deck. The background on this is very pretty, isn't it? So, let's have a look-see. So, the first card we're going to be treated to is Aurora, Briar Rose. For anyone who's like a Disney nerd, who's a Disney nerd like me, you'll probably remember that Briar Rose is the assumed name that the fairies gave her when they not spirited her away, when they were asked to take her in for protection. Then we have Aurora, Dreaming Guardian. It's quite shiny, actually. That's nice. Simba! I love Simba. I am a huge Lion King fan. We have more copies of Aurora, which is probably going to be quite useful in the game. We have Flounder. We just got him from a booster. But we only have 2 copies in this deck. I think you can have about 4 copies, so that extra one will be helpful if we need it. We have Grammatala. Oh, I cannot remember the song for her. Oh well. We also have Jasmine Disguised. We get 2 copies of her. We have Maleficent. Everyone loves Maleficent. It's always nice to have just like a pure evil villain. Oh, and we also get her in a different outfit. Nice. And here we have Mickey Mouse, the detective. We have quite a few of him. Mufasa. Everything life touches. Scar. I actually like Scar, especially his song. Yeah. How does it go again? I know that your powers of retention are as wet as a warthog's backside, but thick as you are, pay attention. My words are a matter of pride. It's clear from your vacant expressions, the lights are not all on upstairs, but we're talking kings and successions. Even you can't be caught unawares. So be prepared for the chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news. A shining new era is tiptoeing nearer. I'm going to wind up singing the entire song if I don't stop, so sorry. Develop your brain. That's King Arthur from Sword and the Sword and the Stone. And we have 1 jump ahead of the bread line. It's actually nice seeing all of these. We have a lot of coconuts. The magic golden flower. I wonder what that is from. Beast! I am so sorry for that moment, that excitement, but next to The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite film, and Beast is my favorite character. I am very glad to actually see him. Even if he does look a bit scary. We have Captain Hook. I think I'm actually wrong, right? I think it's actually 3 cards you can only have in a deck. Oh well. We have Goons. Everyone has Goons. I actually don't remember them from the film. We have the Mighty Hercules. We have Kristoff, the official Ice Master. Maui. What can I say except you're welcome? More Prince Eric. Another Simba. Brilliant. He actually looks brilliant there. With Fire the Cannons. Grab Your Swords. I remember that song. I cannot get the words right for the life of me, though. We have Ransack. Everyone remember that from the film? Smash. I can't remember. Was this guy called Marshmallow? He doesn't look like a marshmallow. Maybe sweet on the inside. And finally, we have 2 frying pans. So I'm actually going to go for this deck, and I'm going to grab a couple of cards with different text here. So first we have the frying pan, then we'll have Smash. Then we'll have Simba. I'm still not the best with these rules, but if I look at it from a point of view of Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever, then Simba and any of the characters you recognize, they will be your creatures, they will be on the board, and they will be helping you out. Actions here are going to be like your spells. So they will be one-time uses, and as soon as you use them, they go into the graveyard, or the bin, or the discard, whatever it's called. And items, I imagine, will be like artifacts. They will be sticking around on the battlefield, and as long as you can pay the cost for them, you can use them. Obviously, Frying Pan's not going to stick around because its cost, as we can see here, is banish this item. So, yeah, all good things. Another thing we will talk about is the tax, because as you can probably see, the resource. So as you can see, the free cards here all have a different number. So whenever you're playing the game, if the number has this border around it, you can put the card upside down onto the field. You know what? Let's actually set up the free mat so we can see exactly what we're doing. Okay. So I've got the mat set up here. Now, obviously you turn the deck the other way around, but we're going to put it here. Your deck would go here. Your discard would go here. I'm a standard Yu-Gi-Oh player, so for me it's usually on the right. And I was talking before about the different symbols. So, if there is a special border there, like a little gold circle, you are able to, once a turn, take a card from your hand with that border and put it face down here, which is called your inkwell, and that will be your resources for this game. As anyone who's played Yu-Gi-Oh know, without a resource gauge, a player's turn can go completely out of control. And obviously we would need like 5 of these for Simba, and in order to say that we have used them, as any typical card game, we just turn it to the side. So that's simple enough. That should be simple enough to keep track of. So in order for us to play our buddy Simba here, we would need 5 cards here, all of which we would have to turn. And then we just put Simba up here. And again, like a standard card game, cards that you have played for the very first turn, they can't attack or take action. So turning it sideways on the turn you've done it, on the turn you put it down, no. So a creature card like Simba is going to have a bit more to keep track of than something simpler like Frying Pan or Smash. Like, as you can see, Simba also has. Sorry, I'm putting a shadow over it. Simba does not have a border. This copy of Simba doesn't have a border, so we cannot turn it into ink. Simba also has these two, a sun and a shield. So that should be very simple to understand. That is going to be his attack, which is 3, and his shield is his defense. So that is 5, which means he can take 5 hits before, 5 points and before he disappears. He also has these little symbols here. So we've mentioned about how to win. Well, we haven't really. We've mentioned that the Wii pack tells us how to win. So the way we win is by getting lore, and we have to make it all the way to 20 lore in order to win. So this is where this counter, handy dandy counter we got free with the deck comes in. It'll be starting at 0, and whenever you have a creature, obviously you won't have a big creature like Simba right away, but if they have that symbol, you can turn them sideways during your turn, and that will get you more lore. So if we turn Simba sideways, we go up 2 because he has 2 lore symbols. And when Simba is tapped this way, he is it's described as being on a quest. So creatures that are sideways and on a quest or can be challenged by other creatures, and that's where the attack comes in. So if one creature challenges another, let's go through our deck and find a opponent. Yes. So let's say our opponent has Kristoff, who will be upside down because he's the opponent. So while Simba is on a quest, he will be that way until our next turn, where we can untap him. And Kristoff, during our opponent's turn, if he's able to be tapped, can be tapped, and your opponent will declare that they are challenging Simba. So what a challenge is basically just having your two characters fight. So when two creatures fight, Kristoff's attack will be dealt to Simba's defense, and Simba's attack will be dealt to Kristoff's defense. And in this scenario, Simba would defeat Kristoff, and Kristoff would be binned. This is also where these little counters come in. So if I take a little -3, we would put that on Simba's card to let us know that he has taken 3 points of damage. And I'm so sorry. And unlike in Magic the Gathering, when a creature takes damage, it does not heal unless a card effect has healed it off. So when it comes back to our turn and Simba goes from tapped to untapped, he will still have 3 points of damage. As soon as he takes 5 points, he's gone. So at this point, he can take 2 more hits. Well, 2 more points. And that's the gist of combat and lore and creatures. Creatures also have their own little abilities. So if we look at Kristoff again, you can see that Kristoff has no additional text. All he has is flavor text, his lore, his attack, and his defense. I am so sorry again. What Simba has, however, is, I know what I have to do. This is Simba's ability, which he can use during your turn. Whenever this creature banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 1 lore. So banishes is basically the equivalent of die. It's the equivalent to Magic's die. When a creature dies, it goes into the discard, or the bin, or the graveyard. But for Disney's Lorcana, it is called banish. And it's fairly straightforward. So if we go back into our little previous challenge example, but reverse the roles. So Kristoff is been sent on to a quest, and we have Simba, and we have Simba challenge Kristoff. Simba will defeat Kristoff, and then because Simba banished Kristoff, he defeated him, we will gain 1 lore. So we'll just move our counter from 0 to 1. This makes Simba a very good challenger, very good at taking down enemy creatures. Because when we do that, we're not too worried about the amount of damage Simba is taking, because we can still get lore from it, which will, of course, advance our game. So I've talked a bit about the cards, and I've gone into a bit of the phases. So how do we actually start a game? Well, in order to start a game, we shuffle our deck, which we're doing. I would actually prefer sleeves on this, but... And the number of cards we draw at the beginning of our turn. Okay, so our starting hand will be 7 cards. So if we just pick up, if you're wondering about getting 7 on the first time, play enough card games, you will pick it up. So there we go. So that is our 7 card hand all laid out. So the first person to take a turn is not going to be able to draw from their deck. That is how card games keep basically turn plays fair. You guys can see my hand, but the opponent obviously will not. I will be keeping that information hidden from them. So if you're not happy with your first hand, I do believe you get a mulligan. So what a mulligan is basically you take your entire hand, put it back in the deck, and then just give it a wee shuffle and draw a brand new hand. And you should only be able to do this once at the start of the game. And you can see now we actually have a slight. I think this is slightly better because we have some pretty good cards, and some very cheap ones that we can play out no problem. So if we're going first, we would take a card from our Inkwell. We have 3 copies of Aurora here, so we're going to use one of her, and we'll turn her into ink. Then we will tap our ink. I've been saying tap this whole time, but that's because I'm used to playing Magic. But what this is actually called for Lorcana is it is called exert. So we've exerted our ink, and we are going to play Flounder. And players will just basically repeat this turn after turn, and if you exert a card that is the tap for it, it will not be usable again until your untap step, where everything gets refreshed. So what can we do? So let's say we get back to our untap. We will, of course, play a second card. We've played one for Flounder, so we can quite comfortably turn another into ink. And then we will play Aurora. So at this point, we now have Aurora and Flounder on the field, but Flounder is the only one capable of attacking. Now, if you want to keep track of this a bit easier, what you can do is you can just put them like this. You can keep the ones that are able to go on quests or challenge other cards, put them closer to your opponent, and if you have ones that have just come into play, you can keep them back here. That'll keep everything sorted. You don't have to do it this way, of course. You can, if it's easier for you personally, you can just put them to the side like this, or just or whatever way helps keep them separate for you. Let's put them this way for us. So at this point, Flounder is able to be exerted, which means that he will go onto a quest, or he will go into a challenge. So there's really no reason not to send a creature onto a quest. Your opponent can't actually block you in this game. I know for Yu-Gi-Oh, a creature wants to attack another creature that is in defense can actually block it. Although who uses defense in Yu-Gi-Oh these days, really? So that would be moving us to 1 lore. And then, like I said, it would just go back and forth. Your opponent would take their turn, and they would be able to challenge Flounder with their creature if they played a first turn creature. And I forgot to do this for turn, but we would have to draw for each turn. It would get back to our turn. We would draw more cards. I'm actually going to keep going until I get. Oh, there we are. Because I really wanted to talk about items and actions. So obviously we'd be able to exert two ink, play coconut, to play coconut basket. This is our item called Consider the Coconut. So, Coconut Basket states that whenever we play a creature, we may remove up to 2 damage from a chosen character. So these are all characters, so if any of them had 2 damage, which would not be a good example because one of them would be dead, but let's say that Eric had 2 damage on him, we would then be able to remove 2 of it and he'd be back up. One thing you've also probably noticed is our deck has 2 different colors in it. So we have a gray color and a blue color. So if we go back to our box, so one moment. So if we go back to our box, you can see here that we have the colors Sapphire and Steel. There are 6 colors in Disney's Lorcana. And like any card game, these will be telling us giving us a bit of detail about how our cards want to play. The important thing also to remember about colors is a deck in Lorcana can only have 2 colors at most. We have blue and gray, sapphire, steel. We cannot add any more colors unless we take out one of those. So we could do blue, red, blue, green. We could do gray, purple, but we would have to make sure that we are only using 2 of them. And the number of players you can have for a game, by the way, you've probably been thinking, oh, this is going to be just 2 players, one-on-one. No, it can be up to 4 or more, I believe. It can definitely be up to four players at a time, which is going to make things quite interesting with how people react with each other. That is basically the gist of it as far as Lorcana goes. Hope to play a few games, and it seems like a lot of fun.